Okay, well, so good evening. This is Craig Blanchett, and I'm a global director here with Optavia and an Optavia coach, like all of the rest of you. It's my pleasure to bring you this, our weekly coach huddle up, where we get to share what's going on with our team, and it's a time where we can all connect back together as a group. We all live in different parts of the country, and we have different experiences as coaching. And so one of the things that we like to do once a week is get together. This is sort of like the time where you go to the office and you get to hang out with other coworkers. And that's one of the uniquenesses about coaching from home is you don't have that office experience. So we try to create that here. Um, for those of you that are interested in watching this at a later time, you can go to vimeo.com and you can search for Health Coach Huddle. And I'll post that. It's Vimeo. It's actually vimeo.com/Health Coach Huddle. And that's where you can find this later. And another thing that we like to do is anybody that's we want to introduce and connect with folks that are guests, first timers. Make sure we notice you guys, and then as we're going through this, we might be talking about some things that might stand out to you. And if we get to those, you just jot them down on a piece of paper. If it's a highlight, I just put a little star next to it. If it's a question, you might put a question mark next to it. And if it's a to-do item, it sparks in something you want to follow up with somebody, I just put a little checkbox next to it. Just a couple little things, a star, a question mark, and a checkbox. And so that's how we roll with my note-taking thing. Hopefully that works for you. And so as we're looking here to see who's joining us tonight, we've got, looks like everybody here has been known. Now, I think Mary, we on Tuesday nights, I know Daniela and Alex are meeting. They meet in their, they have a different huddle, and we meet on this one the first Tuesday of each month. So
Are you kicking me out?
I'm not kicking you out. I'm just letting you know there's another group that's meeting at this same time. And if you're looking for those people, they're not here. But you know Alex's number, and you're welcome to stay. But that's the other group meets in Alex's room.
Do you think it'll make him jealous if I stay with you guys?
I think it'd be fun if you did, but it's up to you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can stay though. It's up to you. So I'm going to toss it over to Dawn here, and she's going to get us started with with our first topic. Let's see. Let me unmute you there. There you go.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Great seeing everybody tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about just working on our conversation skills. One of the really important things we do as coaches is we connect with other people. So whether you're working with your clients, whether you're just out and about in your social circles or events, it's super important to just keep working on those conversation skills, thinking about how you can get conversations started with people you don't know, as well as learning how to just get to know people at a little deeper level that you do know already. And so a really helpful acronym that we talked about is FORD. So when you think about FORD, the F stands for family, the O, occupation, R, recreation, and D, dreams. So if ever you're meeting somebody or wanting to get to know someone better, that's just a great little trick to help you remember some things you can ask questions about. So I don't know about you, but before I started coaching, most of my listening seemed to be listening to try to think about what I was going to say next to kind of keep the conversation rolling. And now I'm really learning that my listening needs to be more about understanding and really getting to know other people and just listening to listen. And so we're going to do a little practice tonight. Craig's going to put us in, partner us up and put us in different rooms. And so think about the F, family, and the O, occupation, and get to know your partner. We're going to have about 5 minutes, so about 2.5 minutes for each person to chat. And when we come back together, I want you to really focus on your listening. So when we come back together, be ready to share something that you learned about your partner. Okay, any questions before we start?
So we're going to do the F and the R. So it'd be family and recreation as the two parts of the forward, or do you have a specific thing as to which ones of those we should do?
I just was talking about family and occupation. So
family and occupation.
Yeah. So we'll start with the F and the O for Ford.
Okay. All right. So you should get a invitation to do a breakout room here shortly. And then you'll just click on go and you'll jump over in the breakout room. Oh,
did you do that on purpose?
That's the way it called it.
No way! I've already spent too much time with you.
I know. I'm like, he's gonna be all alone. Oh, interesting.
No, that was good. That's fine.
People are Christians before, and then they're like, "Oh, I've never read that book." I'm like, "Oh, sorry." Here I am. But what was your background before coaching?
I was a promotional product salesman for 39. We've just continued this on. Sorry about that.
All right, you two. Time's up. So.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see everybody.
You're just having too much fun.
Clark and I could have kept going.
I love it. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed getting to know each other a little bit better. And I hope that you had some great conversations. And I said I was going to kind of check for listening. So I'm just going to call in a few people randomly and tell me something you learned about your partner. So we'll start with Linda. Tell me something you learned about your partner was Clark, right? I'm guessing.
Yes. I was honored to be paired with Clark. He has he's actually, I think, the last one in his family of origin. His parents had passed away and his brother passed away. But he's got 2 kids. He's got a son and 3 grandbabies from him, and then a daughter named Allison, who is also a health coach. And he and his wife, I believe, live in California. And he used to I didn't quite catch what kind of sales it was, but he was a salesman for, I believe, 39 years before health coaching.
Awesome, Linda. So I guess I should be a little more clear because we want to give everybody a chance to share. So let's keep it.
Oh, sorry.
Just to like one little thing.
I told you everything. Sorry.
Obviously,
my bad.
you did an amazing job of listening, Linda. Thank you. So, Lynn Ann, who was your partner?
Oh.
You see him? Dayton Farley. Oh, hey. Dayton Farley. So fascinating. He's in Bismarck. I'm like, what? It's got to be really cold over there. And he's played hockey his whole life. I'm not really sure about the details of that, but he's played with professionals. And I think that's how we met Craig. And that whole sports angle led him to want to be a health coach. But he does have a computer science degree. He has a sister that's a nurse. But fascinating that he's Mark. I wanted to ask him, like, when people go to the...
I'm back now, sorry.
Hey, Dana, are you on there? I wanted to ask, do people actually leave their cars running when they run into grab, like, a pack of gum or something?
Of course. That's funny. Yeah. We had like, funny you ask, there was like 3 or 4 people that like something happened with their car or something. They had some kind of problem where it was like stole or something. It's like, normally that doesn't happen. It's usually really, but now we're a metro area, but it gets cold, really cold.
Awesome.
So it's like, yeah, like they tried, normally I like to ride bike in the wintertime or in the summer, and I had to pack my bike up and stuff. And it was tough to put it away, but I guess I'll have to find a way to cycle inside and to enjoy the Olympics, and it's an Olympic year, so just celebrate, I guess, that and stay warm. So.
All right. Super job, guys. Bessie, who is your partner? Oh, there we
Can
go.
you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, I was partnered with Irving, and unfortunately, I yacked too much. But I did find out he was he retired Marine for 21 years. He used to live near Memphis, which is about 3 hours from me. And he and I both love to travel. And he health coaches full time now.
That's great. Good job,
He's
guys.
married.
Mm-hmm. Wow. We're learning a lot about each other. I love it. So, Christina, who was your partner?
Well, I had my good new good friend Rita, and I got to know that her daughter just got engaged, and they're planning a wedding, and she's going to Wisconsin for like 6 weeks to help plan the wedding, and this is going to be her first Christmas without her mother or grandmother. And we didn't really get to meet, but that's okay because I was really interested in this whole wedding thing because I like planning stuff like that. So we were just getting into all the nitty gritty when we were whisked away into the main room. So, but I really enjoy talking with Rita, and like Rita's my spirit animal, and I really love her.
Awesome.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great asking the questions that actually get an answer that's more than just a yes or no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So as we're working on our coaching skills, just keep thinking about being curious about other people and, getting to know who they are and really taking the focus off you and putting the focus on them. And just, keep in mind that little acronym of family, occupation, recreation, and dream. So if you ever feel stuck and you're not sure what to ask someone, pull up one of those ideas, and it's, it'll just get things rolling with your conversation.
It's funny, Dawn, as you're talking about that, we went to a trade show this weekend over in and just going around talking to people, and I don't know if I sometimes I just forget the Ford thing, like, and I need to just think I'm in a place where I don't know anybody, and if I want to get to know them, start with, hey, tell me a little about yourself. We might even start with where they work first, and then a little bit about their family. But I always forget that in the times when it's important. And what was really interesting being in that meeting is I went over to the other vendors, and there was another vendor there, and I asked her how long she'd been doing this product. She said 7 years. Asked her what she liked about it, and she told me what she liked about it. And then I asked her if she did lots of trade shows, and she just answered my questions and then stood there. And I was like, okay, moving on. I guess you're not going to ask me anything about me, and you're the vendor. Like, you've been doing this for 9 years, and you don't even know how to ask somebody a question? Come on. So we're all learning, we're all growing, we're all trying to figure this out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. So I'm going to toss it over to Linda to close us up.
Should probably unmute. That would be helpful. Okay, we're not missing anything, right, Craig?
Well, just a couple of the client story showcase. I know that Christina had a healthy happy hour that she wanted to talk about, so it might be time to kind of toss that. And then Dawn had something this last week in a client appreciation. So, Christina, why don't you?
Let's do those, and then I'll wrap up.
Good plan, Linda Benson. So I had my first event on Saturday, the 11th. Yeah, the 11th, and it was at 1:00 at my church, and it was like Yeah, really, really exciting. But I was freaking nervous. So nervous that I was like psyching myself out, like, no one's gonna show up. It's like 1:02 and I'm like, no one's coming. I was literally scared, but I've never done anything like that. And I'm like, Christina, knock it off. It's okay. You will be fine. If nobody shows up, it's okay. Try again, you know? So I kept trying to tell myself that. And so, you know, 105, 110, and I had 3 people show up. And it was really cool because it was really intimate and kind of not overwhelming for my first event. And, you know, we all just kind of chatted and asked questions. And I went through a self-evaluation where people would rate themselves. I went through a glycemic index quiz, and a lot of people, the glycemic index quiz really threw people off. It was like, what, blueberries are higher? What? Like, they had no idea. And, you know, you do the hard ones like apples and bananas, and they're like, you know, so, but it was really cool to see, like, really people just don't know. And I, being a coach, am the vehicle to get them to more education. Like, that's what I'm there for. I'm there to help teach people and reinforce it in myself as well. Like, I know more than I give myself credit for. So it was really awesome to, you know, this is Dr. A's Habits of Health book. This is what I learn out of. This is where I get my information from, you know, and it can be reinforced by Google, you know, and like all those things. So, but it was really great to just see the feedback and the, you know, oh my gosh, I made gingerbread cookies from the gingerbread fueling. And people were like, what is this? These are so good. And I'm like, oh, they're actually good for you too, you know, like, so it's just really cool. And so I'm doing it again. I think the mid-December, my pastor's letting me do another one. So very excited for the second one because the fear is gone now. So now just the excitement remains, and I'm stoked.
Good job.
So awesome.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we had some excitement this weekend as well. Craig already told you a little bit that we had a trade show. So that was a first for me. And being very much an introvert, it was very much out of my comfort zone to have to be placed in that situation where I was needing to meet a lot of people and start conversations with people I had no idea who they were. And so that was really a stretch, but we had a ton of fun and made some new friends and some great connections. And then we followed it up the next day with doing a client get together and just had a healthy lunch together and lots of great conversation. It was so fun. And it just really reminded me of how important our health community is. And how, as we coach, that just really helps solidify our own health journey as we move forward and as we're helping other people. And I guess that's just a whole nother reason to really not be afraid to encourage the people we're working with to think about coaching, because as they move on their health journey, we just know that it's really going to provide that same kind of anchor and stability for them as they move forward as well, and success. So that was kind of something that I had thought a lot about this weekend and had a chance to chat with Craig about as well. So lots of big wins.
I was trying to find the picture of the event here.
Our group photo.
Yeah, because that was fun. Did you put that in the health coach page, or where did you put that at?
I think it's on the event page. The event invite.
I thought I saw something on your page, Dawn. Maybe.
It might have been on my page as well. I tagged a whole bunch of people in it, and so
okay.
all over the place. It's probably on your page, Craig.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here.
Well,
Anyways, we had a lot of fun.
that's perfect, Don. You just paved the way for the closing segment. We want to respect your guys' time. But really, this is a great, oh, there it is. Craig's just blocking someone, as usual. You should play basketball, Craig. You would have been good.
Thanks. You just nicely
I
done.
always fouled out of the games, which probably doesn't surprise Craig. But it's a perfect segue. We want to remind you guys that those of us who maybe lead more or speak a little bit, it's because we've learned that we are better together. So all of us, Dayton, Lynanne, Irving, Rita, Clark, we all bring something to this team that none of us can bring alone. So we want to remind you guys we want this to be a place that is invitational, that people are safe to come and experience. So if you have a client and you have been talking about this community of people who are on their own health journey and they're also coaches, bring them on, invite them on. Craig and I and Dawn and Carrie, when she's on, will look, and we want to invite and be a place where people can experience that community, because we really are. I know for myself, and if you've been on your health journey longer than any other health journey you've been on, coaching is probably keeping you accountable in a way that you haven't been held accountable before. It forces us to stay connected to the literature, as Christina said, and it forces us to remind ourselves of our own goals as we're constantly seeking to not only become more well-rounded as people, but to serve others. So invite people to this. Let them experience our team. We're from all walks of life. I'm a mom of a newborn, and then we've got grandparents, and then we have retired Marines, and then we have athletes from the Olympics like Craig. So everybody's welcome. So remember to be invitational. Keep people in the back of your mind. Who would I want to invite? And we challenge you to let someone know that this happens and just see, hey, do you want to come be a fly on the wall and check it out? Invite them to check it out. We won't embarrass them too much. No guarantees, actually, but we'll try not to. So be invitational with our team meeting. And then the last thing is, remember the acronym that Dawn wrote down, FORD, or she shared with us. Hopefully you wrote it down. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. I have it in front of me, so I was looking at it. And pick one of those and use them on a client. Use them on a celebration call. Make that if you're one of those coaches where you're still figuring out, what do I talk about besides checking in on their health journey? Pick one of those and ask your client about it. I promise they're going to remember how you made them feel on that call more than what weight they told you they were that week. They will stay connected to you as a coach because of how they feel safe with you and how interested you are in them. So use FORD as much as you want. Use it at church. Practice with people at work. It's a great acronym to use. So invite people. We love our team. We love each other. We want to be as invitational as we can. And then practice using one of those awesome acronyms for a client call this week.
And so we'll talk about that next week, about your experience with that. One of the things that I do, or I forget to do often, is at the end of the meeting when we have, like what Linda just said, she gave us some homework or some activity to do for the week, is write that down in your notes, and then remember that when you're talking with your clients, that I'm gonna forward somebody, I'm a client or somebody that I meet, and I'm gonna ask them about family, and I'm gonna talk to them about the occupation. Maybe you don't get all the way through the forward. Maybe you just get to the F and the O. I don't know, but do that, and it's really fun to get to know people. So thank you, Linda, and thank you, Dawn, for walking us through this tonight. And we're going to close it up. Great job, Christina, on reaching out and having your first Healthy Happy Hour. It may be actually something that we can do on one of these future meetings, is talk about how to do your own Healthy Happy Hour, because we have some champions. Christina and Dawn actually have done quite a few of those. Well, Dawn's done quite a few, and Christina now is no longer a rookie. And so we can talk about some things that, some activities to do, and make it just make the evening planned out And then the only excuse you have, or the only next step you have, is to pick a date and invite some people over. You'll be happy you did afterwards, for sure. All right, guys, we're going to close up for tonight, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.